Good morning, afternoon, or evening, everyone. My name is Elivaras, and welcome to the continuation of a series I like to call Thought Process. This is episode 2. On Thought Process, we take a look back on some gameplay and dive deep into the thought processes behind all the actions I'm doing, what I did right, what I did wrong, and hopefully we can help both myself and you all do better in the game as a result. In this episode, we are going to hop into some Brock gameplay, and as usual, we're going to be pausing quite a bit so I can further expand on points I'm trying to make. You're going to see my team is going to be Crow, Ricochet, and Brock. So I'm going to charge right into the center, but you do have to be careful because a lot of times in the center, you're going to have Pipers or Brock shooting just straight down the middle, so you want to be cautious and don't want to charge in blindly. As you can see, I'm going to ping some shots off there. Brock's going to get the first star, and I'm going to try and kill him here. Unfortunately, he's going to do a good job of dodging, but I am going to hit Bull over there in that corner. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and come up the side a bit. I'm going to try and come up and hit Brock. And what I'm going to do to kill secure here is I'm going to cast down my super and try and hit Brock here. Unfortunately, I am not going to kill him. But you can see what I did right there, right? So a lot of the time what people do to dodge is they'll strafe from top to bottom. Or, well, if I'm coming from the side, they'll strafe from top to bottom. Usually they'll strafe from right to left and you're in a firefight. Like if I'm down here and they're up there, they're going to strafe from side to side. So I knew that he was running in a straight line this way. He was running in a straight line north, and I was at his right side. So he thought that what I was going to do was I was going to predict my shot and try and shoot where he was headed, so in that straight line. But what I thought was that it was going to be likely that he would know that I'm going to be shooting at the path he's taking, and he's going to turn around. And he's going to turn around and dodge. So what I did instead was I shot a little bit behind him, predicting that he would dodge backwards, and thus I managed to secure the kill. So it can definitely be a real useful skill to learn to watch enemy movement patterns and kind of predict what you think they're going to do rather than always shooting where they're headed. Because a lot of the time in lower trophy matches, it's getting used to, or like when you're new to the game or at lower trophies and still practicing, it's getting used to where the enemy is moving and predicting and aiming ahead of where they're moving. But a lot of the time as you get higher up in trophies in the 400s, 500s on a brawler, you got to start being able to predict dodges and be able to adjust accordingly. So now we do have a Bull in the center, so I've got to be very careful. I know he's in the center, so I'm going to try and maybe just shoot a shot off. And there, Ricochet and Crow are going to discover him. And unfortunately, I did miss twice there. That is a little mistake on my part. Typically on Brock or brawlers with high reload speeds, you don't want to ping 2 or 3 shots in a row at an unsighted target. Because a lot of the time, if you miss once, if you don't predict where he is accurately, then you're going to waste 2 or 3 shots instead of just 1 shot. So if you don't know where they are, ideally you want to shoot off only 1 shot, just so that you don't end up having to reload for a lot longer because you predicted wrong. And there's Brock's going to fire off his super, and unfortunately he is going to get me there. I got caught right in the middle of it. A little mistake on my part. A lot of the time when Brock supers, you're going to want to you want to try and predict where the Brock is going to lay his super down. So it's a big AoE, and usually what they'll do is they'll try and predict where you're going to be moving and lay it down in that direction. So I don't know exactly where he placed it down, but for example, if I'm running backwards, it's likely a Brock is going to place it right behind me so that it'll hit me as I'm running backwards. So oftentimes you want to run forward then. It may seem counterintuitive. You're getting closer to Brock, but in that case, it's likely that you might end up dodging the super. But in that case, what ended up happening was that I started going backwards, and then I went forwards again, and I was kind of going back and forth, like humming and hawing, and not really sure. And that indecisiveness cost me my death, unfortunately. Now I'm only going to fire 1 shot, scout the bushes, don't want to waste 2 or 3 shots. And I'm going to fire across. Now there I did make a mistake again. I did fire 2 shots, shouldn't have done that because I didn't even know where the Piper was. Now we're going to fire one shot there. Didn't see her. And there is the Piper. So I'm going to throw my super out, kind of expecting that she was going to super, trying to blow it. But then I make the mistake of assuming that she wasn't going to shoot immediately after she landed. And she did. She fired right behind her and ended up destroying me as I charged forward to try and secure the kill. So you definitely have to be careful. You don't want to get too aggressive. You don't want to just blindly charge out against someone like a Piper, even if they're at low health and just use their super. So here I'm going to run away from the Brock super. Going to take a bit of damage, so I'm going to make sure I take some time to heal up here. Now, one thing I should be doing here, yep, is clearing the bushes. You never know where that bull is going to pop out, and there he is. And unfortunately, it does look like we're going to be taking the L on this match. Having a tank on this map, Terracotta Square, is actually quite useful, especially if you're not, like, in this case, I'm playing with randoms. And of course, I don't have voice communication. You can play with a team all you want, but what's really going to bring you the victories is voice communication, because that's when you're going to be able to make strategies and say, okay, this happened, so how are we all going to react to it? Are we all going to play left side? Are we all going to play right side? All going to charge middle? Going to pull back, push forward? Stuff like that. If you don't have voice chat, you can't do that stuff. But here, the problem is, because I'm not playing with a team and I'm playing on a long-range brawler, I'm very susceptible to getting ambushed, and my team members are as well. We don't have a strategy. We're going in and we're like, all right, I'm going to take right side, you're going to take left side, and our third guy's going to take the middle. Because typically on maps like this with double lanes and a lot of bushes, what you're going to want is to split between all the lanes, and thus it's going to be very hard for someone on the enemy team to get around you and flank you. So, unfortunately, because I'm not on a team, I'm just playing with randoms in this case, I'm going to have to be very careful and try and be more conservative, shall I say. And ideally, I would not really suggest playing someone like a Brock or a Piper on this map unless you have a team and you've got voice chat would be even better, because you got to be careful. You're very susceptible to getting ambushed. We do see the Terra coming in from the rear now. I'm going to try and predict her movement. Now, I find shooting behind me a lot harder than shooting ahead of me, because it's right near where my thumb is, so it can kind of be really awkward. But you can see there, so the Primo jumped out of the bushes, and I got hit a few times, and he was right on top of me. I could have used my super, but here's the thing. The Primo is at such high health, it was going to be very unlikely that I was going to kill him with my super. I probably would have just ended up with a wasted super. So just because you're getting engaged upon and you have your super doesn't mean you should blow it, because in this case I wouldn't have killed the Primo and I wouldn't have my super anymore. I probably wouldn't even have gotten all the shots off. So now the Terra is going to lay her super down, and I'm going to try and shoot her on her way out, but you can see there I was going to use my super again to try and blow her up. But then the Shelly came, and I was like, it's best not to use my super because I'll probably get killed. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take advantage of Terra's positioning here, getting locked in by the Mortis, and I'm going to kill her with my super there. You can see the Primo, very interesting super. I don't think it was worth it for Primo to blow his super on dodging a Brock rocket. It just, like, he's got 7k hit points. My rocket does like 1400, 1500 damage, 1600, something like that. Definitely not worth it to blow your super on dodging one Brock rocket. So you can see our Ricochet laying down some pressure. I'm trying to predict where the Shelly's moving, and I'm going to get an off-screen kill there. She was moving to the... So here's the thing, right? Well, a lot of the time when you're predicting enemy movement patterns, they're going to be dodging when they can see you and know that you're firing at them. In that case, the Shelly was off screen, and it was very likely she couldn't see me, so that she wasn't predicting the two rockets that were going to come at her in the path she was taking. If they can see you and you're close to them, then it's likely that they're going to be trying to dodge your shots, but in that case, the Shelly could not see me, and thus I was able to just fire in the straight path that she was traveling and secure the kill. Here, I'm trying to shoot the Primo, but he's just a little bit too far out of range, so I'm still holding my shot here. And I'm going to fire one out that way, and I'm not going to hit anyone at the moment. Now we're just doing a lot of blind firing, 12 to 13. And we are going to see Terra then, and we got to be super careful. We see her super coming. We managed to get out of the way. And here's where I'm going to throw down my super. And we're going to secure the kill onto Shelly, and then immediately after secure the kill onto Primo, and that's going to put us into the lead. So now you can see what I'm going to do is I'm going to get pretty conservative. I'm going to stay in the back here. I've got 6 stars. If I die, there's only need 1 more death on our team before our team loses, or they pull ahead again. You can see our Mortis is being a little over-aggressive, so I'm definitely going to try and make sure that I don't get killed here. See, now if I die, we lose. I'm going to throw my super out. A little bit of a misplacement. I was hoping the Terra would go north instead of going east there, or I guess up instead of right. But even though it didn't hit anyone, it was kind of repellent. It pushed the Primo, decided he was going to retreat north because he saw the Brock super coming out, so keeping them away from me in the last 10 seconds. Now, I've just got to be very careful here. Want to get in as far back as possible. Make sure I can't get leaped on by anyone. And Primo's going to get close, so I'm going to do is I'm going to dodge around the cactus here and secure the kill just before the end of the game. And we're going to take that victory there as star player. Alright, so now we're going to hop into round 3. So you can see, in that case, I didn't have to worry too much about pushing up forward. Like in the first game, I got killed by Piper. I got ambushed by Primo a few times. Those are a few mistakes I made. Unfortunately, I'm not able to really work on those mistakes at the moment because there's no enemy Pipers in the enemy team, so I can't show myself improving from that. But ideally, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to look at the mistakes you made and say, okay, you got to really put a lot of focus onto recovering from those mistakes. So I push out too far, get killed by a Piper out of nowhere. Okay, so I'm going to work on improving that. They have a tank on their team. I've been killed by Primo a few times popping out of the bushes. I'm going to be more cautious and not push straight forward into a bush. So Dynamite's going to do some pretty good dodging there. I am going to kill him, but I'm going to get hit by Super in the process. And here I'm most likely going to get killed by Terra. So I'm going to dodge around a bit. I'm going to be going left and right. I'm in the bushes, so she can't really see me, and thus she's relying on my path of movement before I went into the bushes to where I'm going to shoot. So I was running immediately to the left bushes. She would think it's more likely for me to run this way because there's cover this way. Like she's over here, I'm here, and I'm seen going into the bush this way. She thinks, okay, he's trying to get around this corner, so I can't, so I'm unable to hit him. But joke's on him, I'm going to hit him because it's easy for me to shoot around walls. But in that case, what I did was I predicted that she was going to shoot this way. She thought I was going to go that way, so instead I went to the right and thus dodged a complete shot there. And you can see what I'm going to do is I'm going to kill her now. So I'm going to kill Terra, still at low health, 661. I see the Dynamite coming in, and the Dynamite's pushing into the bushes, and I'm going to throw down my super, and I'm going to take out the Dynamite as I go down. I don't really know why the Terra was spinning since I killed both of them at no health, but you can see if you're really focused on dodging and thinking about where the enemy thinks you're going to go and going the opposite direction, then you can really just make some good outplays, and I secured 2 kills when I should have gotten none of them. So I'm going to fire on Dynamite there, going to hit him again, predict his movement, and in that case, Dynamite should have been dodging. He should have gone up because he was running in a straight line, and he should have known that I was going to just shoot 2 rockets straight at him. So what he should have done was after he got hit by the first was immediately dodge upwards, since my second rocket would be following his movement. See, the Terra's got her super here. I'm going to predict her movement again, and she's not. And now the reason Terra didn't dodge here, and this is something you have to be very careful about, is Terra had her super ready, and she was looking at our teammate on this side. She was extremely focused on getting her super down and killing the Dynamite on my team, that she wasn't paying attention to the rest of the members on our team. So she wasn't paying attention to me or Ricochet, and thus I was able to easily predict her path and kill her. When you're playing against a Brock or a Piper, Brocks and Pipers feast on unawareness. If you're not aware of their position or you're distracted, they are going to kill you. So it is very important that you focus on where Brocks and Pipers are. Otherwise, she was too focused on firing her super off, and thus she got killed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and predict Dynamite's movement here. I'm going to pull back a bit and try and hit him with some shots. And now I'm going to do is I got into the bushes before I hit my super, you'll notice. Because a lot of the time, if you have your super activated, the little blue ring, so if you've got that little extra blue ring, you can see on Crow there. So there's a normal blue ring, and then there's the dotted blue ring around it. That dotted blue ring means that their super is charged. If it's yellow, then that means that they have their super triggered and are ready to fire. So if you trigger your super and you have it ready to fire and it's a yellow ring and you're just charging forward at them, they know that you're about to super, so they're going to dodge accordingly. If I do it while I'm in the bush, they don't know that I'm about to fire off my super, and thus there's less reaction time for them. And you can see I'm going to blow them all sky high here, and I'm going to try and predict Ice's movement. But Ice is about to get killed by the ricochet, and she does make the mistake of turning back around and getting hit by my rocket. Probably trying to dodge the ricochet there, but either way managed to get the kill. So I can see Dynamike's over here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to step into the bushes for a second, try and shoot him. I'm going to hit him once, unfortunately not secure the kill, but I'm hoping that my teammates will be able to kill him, or at least push him back for the time being. So you can see I'm getting in the back here. I'm trying to strafe left and right. Ricochet doing a good little job there of protecting me. So this is another thing to talk about in late game bounty. At the end of the game, if you got someone with 5 to 7 stars and there's just like a bull, if it's like a colt or there's a bow just firing at them in your base, if you've got only like 2 or 3 stars, you should try and be screening whoever's got like 6 or 7. And that way they're less likely to die and you're less likely to lose the lead. And now Tara's going to be taken on low health here. I'm trying to just be conservative, stay in the back left, don't want to get killed. And the poison there is going to finish off the Tara. So now I'm going to do is I'm just going to fire off some shots, try and predict some enemy movement. And now I can see Dynamike's got a super up. I'm just going to book it as far south, as far into the back corner as possible. Try and delay the super coming out. And he does throw it at the end. And thankfully, I managed to take him out with my super, and Tara isn't able to kill me in time. Although at that point, since I'd killed Dynamike and our team had gotten a bunch of other kills, even if I did die, that wouldn't have cost us the match. All right, so that is about going to wrap it up for this episode of Thought Process. I would like to thank you all for watching. I hope you learned a bit about Brock and team strategy, team coordination, mistakes, predicting enemy movement shots, being able to play effectively on this map. I hope you learned a lot in this video. So yeah, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'm going to be trying to be on a roughly 3-day release schedule, sometimes 2 days, but with university starting, it's getting harder for me to produce content, but it is my hope that I'll be able to meet at least a 3-day release schedule. So I would like to thank you all for watching. Have a great rest of your day. Cheers, guys.